I video record every session and I post them on Moodle just because the way I learn things is I have to watch video tutorial 30 times so I understand it. It's very simple. And I know for some of you guys it's too early or too late at your time zone. So if you're crashing or you're not conscious yet, there's going to be video tutorials. Don't panic if you get behind. I'm basically 24/7 online on Slack, so you can find me. Last term, I was helping a student, 3 students. We started at 10 p.m. the night before submitting their finals, and we ended at 2 in the morning, just finishing everything so they can hand it in. So I'm always online. You can always find me. If you're getting behind or you're stressing out, immediately message me on Slack and we can negotiate. Okay? All right. I also need someone to remind me to record sessions every week. Who could do this? Sometimes I forget and it will be very bad for you guys. Okay, Danielle, you're in charge of it. I don't know if you just waved at me or you said you're volunteering.
It's fine.
Okay, good.
It's
Good.
once a week or once a week? Yeah, once a week, right? Every class.
I was way back when COVID was not happening. I was at the restaurant. I said, "Excuse me," and someone just high-fived me on his way out of the restaurant. That looked like the exact same scenario. Okay, welcome to Unreal Engine 1. This is what we are going to cover today. Before we start these topics, I want you guys to understand one thing. My background is not in programming. I'm a technical artist, and my background is mostly in art. But I've studied Python and some other languages. But my most focus is on how you can make money from Unreal Engine. So if you need to learn about more coding or something very specific that is not covered in this class, message me individually and I will help you. But the focus of this class is how you can make money from Unreal Engine. We are going to be working on products, virtual products, and not on experimental art projects. I hope that is clear for everyone. For the first project for this term, it's mostly going to be learning everything about Unreal Engine. I understand every one of you coming from different backgrounds. Some of you guys are from art, music, cinematography, or engineering, and you may have an idea of, okay, I want to use Unreal Engine for this specific reason that we might not be covering in this term. But in second term, it will be a lot more flexible for you guys to pick your own projects. So for term 1, I have projects for you guys, and these are relatively fun projects. For term 2, you can pick your own project. It could be cinema, it could be audio, music, it could be lighting, it could be anything. We will get there eventually. Okay. Now, intro to Unreal Engine. Has anyone not used Unreal before? Okay. So I will quickly cover the very basic of Unreal Engine, and we quickly move on to fun stuff. If I'm going too fast, is because I'm not going to be covering basics. I will help you with basics if you need, but I'm trying to just go over basics very quick so we can get to good stuff. Okay. So in order to use Unreal Engine, you have to go through Start menu, search for Epic, and you will find Epic Game Launcher. Does everybody have that on their computer? The IT was responsible to install it for you. If it's not working, then you need to ticket them right away and it works. Is there anyone that doesn't have Epic Launcher and Unreal 4.24? Shri? You don't have Unreal? Could you unmute yourself?
Sorry, I don't have Unreal. I didn't install it.
Do you know how to install it?
Yes, I can, but it will take time and my network.
It will take a lot of time. It's around like 7-8 gigabytes. It's insane.
Oh, sorry.
But don't worry.
Can't do that.
Like I said, everything is recorded. You will be okay.
No problem. I will follow it and note it every important.
Okay, so let's launch 4.24. Everybody follow me, please.
Do we need that specific version? I just installed the latest version last night, 4.26. Is that okay?
4.26.
Yeah.
that is, I think that's a preview version.
Okay.
It might crash on you. It might also work. I don't mind you guys using different versions. It's gonna be a little more difficult for me to open all the different versions, but that's okay. I also have to show you how you can save them with different versions, but feel free to use 4.26. Some of the UIs, user interface is gonna be different. Some of the menus may be different, but in general, they are identical in many ways. Okay, so I just opened Unreal Engine. This is what Unreal Engine looks like when you start a project. It gives you the option to, if you have any previous projects like I did, you can open them, or you can choose one of these categories to start a new project. So in this case, we want to choose games, but for next term, we will cover what is under films, architecture, and automotive. For now, we are starting with games. Now, if you select next, Unreal is going to ask you, okay, you're starting a new Unreal project. Tell me exactly what tools you need. The reason Unreal asks you this question is because Unreal Engine is about 6, 7, 8, or sometimes more gigabytes of data. And if you want to use all tools at all time, it's going to be very expensive on your CPU, on your RAM, on your computer, right? So what Unreal did was it decimated all the tools into groups. Most of these groups have some common codes between them. But for now, here is what I want to use. I would like to choose a virtual reality project. Okay, I'm going to click on it. By choosing this, Unreal Engine says, okay, you're starting on a VR project. I'm going to set up all the settings and all the preferences that is good for a VR project. I'm going to press next. And this panel is very, very, very important. We are starting with a blueprint project. For this practice, we are going to use maximum quality because the project is relatively small. The number of 3D meshes that we are going to use in this project is fairly small. In future, we're going to look at a scalable 3D and 2D. You do not need ray tracing for this project. Ray tracing is a technique in graphic cards that makes everything prettier, but it's also very expensive. So you need a very expensive machine, and you're not using a very expensive machine right now. When I say expensive, I'm talking about like $20,000, $30,000 computer. We are doing a desktop project, not a mobile. We will look at mobile, its limits and its advances. But right now we are doing desktop, and you would choose with starter content. Okay, starter content is Unreal Engine has prepared a bunch of shaders, audios, effects for you to start playing with Unreal Engine, to learn it. So you don't have to import a lot of 3D assets, 3D meshes, and 2D graphics into Unreal Engine so you can learn it. Down here, it's asking you, where are you saving your project? So this is going to be Unreal Engine in document, and I will rename this into, I'm going to call this project test project VR. You can name it whatever you want. Keep in mind, whatever you name this project is going to be the name of the folder that is about to be created by Unreal Engine. Okay, so if I go under Documents, Unreal Projects, where are you? There we go. So do you see how many folders I have here, and they have different names? As soon as I click on Create, I will get a new folder here called Test Project VR. And now The actual compiling is starting right now. Okay. Am I going too fast or you guys are following? Carlos is the sharpest so far. He's like, Jasmine, how you doing?
Yeah, all good on my end.
Alrighty. Elia?
All good, sir.
Alrighty. Okay, now the project has opened. Here is what I need to do. So I'll quickly go over what Unreal Engine looks like and what every part does. And then after that, we are going into, I'm trying to resize this window, sorry guys. Okay, got it. So Unreal Engine interface. Unreal Engine is a 3D render engine. It's powered by your graphic card. This in the center is your 3D previewer, and it is the heart of the engine. We will talk about how Unreal Engine renders in real time later, and how you can optimize it, how you can improve it, and how you can adjust it for different application. But right now, remember we've selected a VR project at the beginning for creating a new project. This scene was part of that template. So right away you can start in this level. By the way, this 3D preview, what you're looking at it is called a level. Again, we are covering every part of it step by step. On the top, this is very standard software. Basically, on the top you have file, edit, window, help. These menus are very limited because there is not much under it unless you want to change something in the engine. Very important components of the Unreal Engine are these actors, content browser, and your outliner. So what are actors? Unreal Engine is an object-oriented program. Who doesn't know what that means? Everybody knows what that means. I got no answer from you guys. Tough crowd. Okay, so if you are from programming background, every object contains a bunch of codes in it that does a specific function. So imagine in a video game, for example, a car is an object. Like if you played Need for Speed or Call of Duty, a character or a car is an object, and the car has some features in it. It has speed, it has brakes, it has lights. It's one object that has a lot of features in it. In Unreal Engine, we call them actors. Okay, so actors are basically objects, but in Unreal, they are translated to actors. Everything you add to your level is an actor. Now, actors could be, some actors have different names, but everything at the very level is, at the very basic of it is an actor. What you see in this panel are a group of pre-made actors by Unreal Engine. So if I go under basic, I have an empty actor. I can drag and drop it here. Sorry. Let's do this again because you guys probably didn't see it. If I drag and drop an actor here, this is an actor. This is an empty actor. You can program it and make it do something. You have an empty character. The difference between an actor and character is this one has some components in it that are very useful. For example, it could have animations, sound, audio, and it could be controlled by a joystick. We will cover this in a bit. You have an empty pawn, some lights, some basic shapes. Under lights, you get directional light, point light. Let me delete these two. Spotlights, rectangular lights. As you can see, Rectangular is exactly what it is. It says it is. And skylight. Don't worry about the skylight if you haven't used it before. We will cover this in rendering class. Cinematic is not for now. Visual effects, we are not touching this right now. Geometry. If you are trying to make a very basic scene, you can use these objects here. Box, cone, cylinder, all the assets. The difference between a cone and a box, the difference between geometry and basic is, let me drag a cube here. And a basic is, these are more flexible for customization, but these are static meshes. Again, if you're new onto Unreal Engine, don't worry. I'm just quickly going over very basics, and I will explain everything in detail in next steps. Volume, we will talk about volume soon. And here it says all classes. So remember when I said everything in Unreal Engine is an object, and in Unreal Engine we call them actors. Every actor is a class of Blueprint. What is Blueprint? Blueprint is a set of codes that serve a function. Think about it that way. So we have actor class, we have audio class, we have sound class, we have so many different classes, and we will be using them soon. I know some of you guys are looking at me like, I don't know what you're talking about, but again, it starts very difficult and it gets easier as we go. Now, for this session, let's do one quick practice. Down here in Content Browser, a very important part of Unreal Engine, you have all the folders with all the assets that you are going to be using in your project, in your Content Browser. Just like your C drive or D drive or your Dropbox, you can always right-click and add a new folder. And I'm going to call this levels. What I like to do is go to levels folder, right-click, and create a new level. And I will call this test VR_level. Enter. You see this start sign here? That means you just created something, but it's not been saved yet. If your Unreal crashes, you will lose this. Anything that is not saved will be lost. So you can either right-click and press save, or what I do is, there is a shortcut for it. There is a Control-Shift-S to save all. And I usually do that, Control-Shift-S, and it saved it. See, the star sign is gone now from here. That means it's permanently compiled into your project. If your Unreal crashes, you won't lose it. So every time you create something or you import something into Unreal Engine, I need you to save all, so you won't lose it. Now, double click on it. It's asking me, because I changed some few things inside this scene, it's asking me, hey, do you want to save this before you go to your next level? And I'm going to say, don't save. And you should see a dark black screen. Is everybody following? Okay, now let's look at the outliner. Outliner is anything you drag and drop from this library adds to the outliner. It's basically your hierarchy. It is very important that you keep this outliner organized. There are ways to keep these to keep your outliner organized, and we will look at them when we go on your first project. But for now, because I just have a light, so it's okay. As soon as I drag and drop something into Unreal Engine, you don't see anything right here because the level is empty. So what I would do is I'm going to go under basics and I'm going to drag and drop a plane here. And now I can see it. Wherever you drag and drop something in Unreal Engine and you let go of your left mouse, it sits right there. The problem is sometimes I don't need them to be, I don't need this one, by the way. Let's go delete. So I dragged and dropped this at somewhere on the scene, but I'm not happy with it because I wanted this to be at the center of the scene. So what I'll do is, if you come here, transform, this box has a location, rotation, and scale of everything that you have in your scene. And you see that there is a yellow return or reset button here. Every time you change a default value to something else, you get this reset arrow here. If I click on it, it will change XYZ to 0, 0, 0. And if I want to find out where my plane is gone, it's over here. And if I press F on my keyboard, it will frame it, or it will just zoom in on the object. Most of the keyboard shortcuts in Unreal Engine are very similar to Blend or 3ds Max or Maya. Have you guys used any other 3D softwares? Yes?
Yeah, we're using Maya.
Nice. Okay, so Maya has a lot of keyboard shortcuts that are very similar in Unreal Engine. Now, here's my plane, here's my directional light, and I don't know where directional light is. So remember, if I just go and click on this reset, it will go in the center. Okay, let's continue with some simple exercises in VR. I'm going to use this plane and as the basic of my as a base of my floor. And you see this grid is flickering. That's because I have grid on. If you want to change or hide or unhide anything in your level, you need to go under show, and you go under show, click on grid, and the grid is gone. It was too annoying for me. All right. Now, remember we selected the VR template for Unreal Engine. If you go into content browser and under virtual reality BP is short for blueprint. I'm going to go under blueprints, and I'm going to select motion controller pawn, this blueprint class here, drag and drop it into the scene, and let go. So what is this? Motion controller pawn, you're going to be using this a lot. Motion controller pawn has, I'm not going to open it because it might be too soon. It has a camera and two controllers on the left hand and right hand. As soon as you go under play, I don't have my VR headset attached. Okay. As soon as you go under play and press VR preview, your VR character starts to work. Is everybody following? Do you guys have your VR headset hooked up to your machine?
Not yet.
Not yet? Because you're waiting for one, or you just haven't used it?
I got one, but I haven't used it yet.
Sorry, could you repeat? I couldn't.
I got one, but I haven't used it yet.
Okay. Do you need help setting it up?
I don't have the headset because VFS is sending me the computer and the headset, and they will arrive next week, or I don't know, but I don't have anything now. I mean,
no worries. As soon as it comes in, message me if you need help, and we'll set it up together. Okay. If anyone needs help with setting a VR headset, let me know.
The template, the virtual reality template is not working in my computer, I think, right now.
What is your computer?
I'm in a similar situation. It's just stuck at 39%.
Yeah, I just closed it like 2 times and it's not working.
What is your computer?
It's an HP. I'm not sure. I can send you like the specifications.
Okay, the reason you got stuck at 39% is probably your computer doesn't have enough horsepower to start a project.
I think that's why. But normally it works when I use like the blank scene or the first person. It works, but with the virtual reality, it doesn't. Okay.
After the class, I can help you. We will look at your computer and figure out, okay, exactly what is the reason the project is not starting. But don't worry, For first class, we are not really touching VR. We're going to be working on how to set up a VR project, not using a VR project. So you're not really getting behind on anything yet.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so like I said, if you press play, you should be expecting a VR preview starting. But did anyone do this and it didn't work? No? Okay. So there are a bunch of setups in VR that are different from a traditional gameplay. If you need to, as soon as you add a character into your scene and you want that character to be your VR player, this is what you need to do. You have to select the pawn actor. Under auto process player, you have to change this to player 0. As soon as you do this, and then you press VR preview, engine starts to look at who is player 0 in your game. Because this one is now assigned to player 0, then your VR starts to work. Okay. Now, here's the second thing, and this is basically the last thing that we are going to cover in VR project. For now, sorry. Now, if we go under visual effects, under volumes, and I'm looking for nav mesh bound volume. And I would like to drop this down. Nav mesh volume is specific to virtual reality and one other purpose in Unreal, but it's very important. Keep that in mind. I drag and drop a nav mesh bound volume into my scene. Wherever this box, this bounding box goes, your VR character can walk within it. Meaning, and here's what you can do. If you just drag and drop a nav mesh bound volume into your scene and press P on your keyboard, I'm going to move this down a little. You see this green space here? So I dragged and dropped a nav mesh bound volume into my scene, and then I pressed P on the keyboard for preview. If you're falling behind, let me know so I can show again. In virtual reality, the way we move in the level is by teleportation. So we aim at something and we shoot, and we'll jump from A to B. But for that to happen, you need a nav mesh bound volume. This box looks a bit small, so I'll go inside and either use the scale or the brush setting here to resize my bound volume. Basically, you need to have this green area for wherever you want the player to be able to go to. So for example, if you have a level and you want a player to be able to go from here to here, you need to have this. But if you don't want a player to go from here on any further from this point, from this edge, then your bound volume could stop here and your player won't be able to jump anywhere further than that edge. Okay, so these are the very basic of Unreal Engine. And I just showed you how you can create your own basic level. It's that simple. Okay. Does anyone have a question?
Can you go over that part where you assign the player 0 again one more time?
Absolutely. So I'm gonna press P to get rid of this bounding box. You have to select this pawn.
Yeah.
And then auto process player.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
Player 0. Okay, got
Player
it.
0.
Thank you. Perfect.
I have a question.
Yes.
This is a bit of a tangent, but how difficult would it be to set up locomotion as opposed to just teleporting?
By locomotion, you mean you just want to hover over the ground?
As in being able to move within the play space by just moving the headset and using tracking?
Okay, there are a couple of ways to do it, and I'm guessing you are pretty advanced in Unreal Engine.
No, not really.
You have some background in Unreal Engine.
Very little.
Okay,
I'm just curious because, yeah, the two modes of movement usually are through teleporting or being able to move within a defined space. So
Okay.
I was just wondering.
we will get there, but if you need this right away, we can do this after class.
Oh, not at all. I was just curious.
Yeah.
just
No,
just
there are a few ways to move around in Unreal Engine. There are very bad ways to move around in Unreal Engine that gives you serious motion sickness. It happened to me. You can easily fall. I've seen people just falling face down, and it looked very painful. And I saw a guy falling and hitting his teeth with a chair. It was really bad. It's because he actually believed that he can move and he started walking. He was okay because it was literature, but it hurt. So be careful how you choose to move someone in a scene. And we will talk about motion sickness and comfort in virtual reality. Okay, so here are the basics. I will send you guys more video tutorials about how you can work within Unreal Engine space, the basics of it, and you can go over them on your own time. Because this program is mostly focused on virtual reality applications, I cannot spend more time explaining the basics. All right, let's go and press exit. I'm done with this one. Okay, project one. For project one, I need you guys to build a clock, a ticking clock in virtual reality, in VR, in Unreal Engine. If you can make a clock, a ticking clock, you can make everything, anything. Believe me. The key to Unreal Engine is time. As soon as you understand how time works in Unreal Engine, you can design and develop anything you think or you wish. Quite interesting, right? Tough crowd. In general, time is a very interesting topic to me. I love the philosophy of time and how it works. And there are a bunch of Netflix shows about time that I love. And if you want to discuss about it, we can do it later. Did anyone watch Dark? Yes? Excellent. Watch it. It's a German show about how time works. And the whole movie is about it. 2 seasons or 1 season. It's amazing. It blows your mind. Okay, so for project one, let me go into Epic again. I'm going to open this project. I will show you what the project looks like, and I will send you guys the 3D assets, and we will figure out, and we will learn how you can import those 3D assets into Unreal Engine. As soon as we learn that, I can explain to you what I'm expecting to see. Come on.
I do have a question, if I may. It's not directly related, but it's a personal one. On my own machine, I have like 50 projects for Unreal, and the cache size is like 500 megs. Is there a way to deal with that?
Wait. When you say you have 50 projects, you mean under library?
Yeah, personal projects.
So under my projects, you have 50 of them.
Yeah, on my personal machine, not the school machine.
500 megabyte cache. That's not a lot. 500 meg or 500 gig?
500 gigs.
500 gigs of cache file. Okay.
Yeah.
So what you want to do is, let's look at them later. But what I would do is I will go under test and I will say under saved, and I would delete everything under saved.
Yeah, the problem is not within the projects. It's in the C, I think deferred, whatever, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's the cache within the C, not in the projects.
I have to look at it.
Okay, yeah, thanks.
Okay, so this is a scene I put together very quick. I'm going to open it. I will show you what it looks like, and then we'll go away, go away. So here is my solar calendar. I'm trying to find a very good angle so we can look at it together. Okay. Huh, this is even worse. A solar calendar is basically 12 months of the year, and every month has weeks, and every week has hours and minutes and seconds. That's a very common knowledge. I need you guys to import a 3D model of the solar calendar into your Unreal project, and then make these arms tick and have everything synchronized. So when every 60 seconds, you see the minute arm moves 1 minute, and every 60 minutes, you see the hour arm moves an hour. And then for every 12 hours, I want to see on a solar calendar that it's ticking for 1 day. And then after, if you want to speed up the calendar so you can see the entire 12 months of the year, you can control the speed of it. And if you are able to show me global warming effect, I will give you an A++ for this project. Does that sound overwhelming?
Give it a shot.
Yes, but it's super cool.
If you can make a clock, you can make anything. It's very simple.
Could you say the last instruction again? The global.
Sorry, your sound is very echoed. Can you repeat again?
Could you tell me the last instruction about global something?
Oh yeah, okay. So we're gonna be working on a solar calendar, and we're gonna have a solar calendar here, and you can also show any additional effects on the scene. But if you could show me that through time, your scene is getting warmer or something is happening that shows global warming effect, I will give you an A++. I don't think I can give you A++, but I will give you 100.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Now, let me pass you the 3D assets, and we will look at it together, and we'll figure out, okay, what is the right way to import those assets. I need to go under downloads. Let's go under. Okay, under in the Slack channel, please download this zip file.
Another question, Amir.
Yep.
Can we? How do you test / play scenes in Unreal in the VR project without a headset, or do you have to have one?
It's way better if you have one, but if you don't have a VR headset right now, you could just use an empty actor, or sorry, it's even easier if you just use a player start. So you can drag and drop a player start here, and remember you have to. It didn't need to add auto possess 0. Okay, perfect. Now if I press play, look what happens. The auto start, the player start that I selected instantly became my character.
Okay, so you can test it as in the first person.
Yeah,
the first person
partially.
view.
It is missing a lot of things. I need to go here. Quickly snap. There's a lot of things that are missing for the player start, but to start with, it's a good actor to use for temporary. Don't mind me, I'm just quickly doing some changes here. Okay, did everybody get that zip file? All right. Should I start a new project? Yeah, maybe I should start a new project myself. Temporary, where was it? Test project VR, okay. Okay, open the zip file and then save it somewhere on your local drive. We'll be using this. Go back to here. You should not be here. Okay, this is the basic of how you import 3D asset into Unreal Engine, but in near future, we will also cover how you can add materials and a lot of things into 3D assets in Unreal Engine. By the way, you guys mentioned that you are using Maya in another class. What is the project that you guys are working on?
An asset, basically, the first
Yeah.
project.
Is it by Kat or is it by?
Yeah, Kat.
It's by Kat. Okay, she's great. Let's go under content browser. Okay, so imagine I just unzipped my 3D file. There should be two files in it, an OBJ and a folder called text for textures. Okay, here's your biggest challenge in Unreal Engine. How you organize your content browser is very important to me and to every other team member that you will be working for the rest of your life. Because if you don't organize your content browser, you basically make everything unrecognizable and you make the next person's job more difficult and they start to hate you. So please, please, please pay attention to how you import assets into Unreal Engine and how you organize them. If you look at this, there is a PDF copy of this on the Moodle. If you look at it, for next week, you will have an assignment due. And one of them is organization. All assets are in proper folders, renamed and color-coded. If you do this, you get 100%. That's simple. For every project, I expect you to do that. We will go over what is the assignment later. Don't worry about it. It's very simple. Now, how to import 3D asset into an Unreal Engine? First thing I want to do is I would like to create a folder. So I'm going to right-click, new folder, and I will call this assets. Everything and this is a personal preference. Anything that I import into Unreal Engine, I call it an asset. It could be either 3D or 2D, but inside Unreal Engine, 3D and 2D, they don't make really a difference. It's the asset or it's the object that matters the most. So I will call this asset. And because I will be using this folder a lot, for next few minutes, I would like to right-click on it here or here, doesn't matter. And I would like to, where is my add to favorite? As soon as I do that, it's always going to be here for me in this shelf, favorites shelf. I do this because in some projects, I will end up with like 200 folders here. And if I'm working on assets as my own task, then it's making it very difficult for me. So I would always keep them in my favorite because it makes my life easier. And then I would also like to set color for it because I like colors. So if you right-click on it, set colors, and click on it, or you can clear and a new color, and you can choose your select. And from now on, there is no way you could not see your assets folder right away. Be organized is very important to me and everyone else. Okay, under assets, I'm going to create a new folder and I'm going to call this clock. Enter. Now, to import something into Unreal Engine, you right-click and click import to game asset clock, or you can press here, import, and this window opens. Did everybody get that? Where I saved it, I think it was under VFS, term 1, clock, and the OBJ. Perfect. Press open. When you import a mesh asset into Unreal Engine, this opens. It could be either an FBX or OBJ or other 3D formats, but you always start with this window. Basically, it's asking, okay, I recognize you're importing a 3D asset into your project. Are there any things that you want to change, or do you want to just import it as is? In this case, I could just go ahead and press import all, not import all, and see what happens. Now, it says you have 111 meshes in your model, and it's importing everything for me. Okay, there are some messages that are trying to notify me for something. We don't need to pay attention to this, so I'm going to go and close this. All the meshes that were part of this solar calendar are now in this folder. You see, these are different colors. These have very neon blue or green ones. Unreal Engine has color codes for everything. If it's a mesh or a static mesh, the color code for it is neon blue. If it's a material, because Unreal imported everything, remember? There were materials as part of the 3D model. The materials color code for it is green, and they're always shown on a sphere. So for example, if I open this, double click on it, and you will see a window pops up. This is one of the 3D meshes that I imported, and the window for it is like this. You can have a look at it. There are two side panels here that show you a lot of details about what is within this mesh. If I open a material, it's a complete different window. It gives you a preview of what the material looks like. So right now it's just solid white. If I double click on it and I change it to whatever other colors, it should update instantly, and it gives you a preview of what this material looks like. Now I could go ahead, anything, by the way, this is your material. Whatever that is hooked up to this shows up here. So if I go ahead and add some more numbers or colors into these nodes, you will immediately see the impact on your final shader. Materials is a very, very, very big topic in Unreal Engine. People have jobs called material artists. You could just go on just creating material for Unreal and get paid 80,000-90,000 a year. If you're passionate about it, go for it. It's a beautiful career. It's amazing. Lots of potential, and it's been used for industrial, for film, for game, for everything pretty much. Okay, everything is imported. Remember these tiny stars on the bottom left corner? It means nothing is being saved. You just imported everything. If Unreal crashes, you will lose all of it. So what I do is I go under File, Save All, or Control-Shift-S to save everything. Okay, this is going to take a few minutes. It's 10 o'clock. Let's take a 10-minute break. I'm here. If you have questions, we can talk right now. Or if you want to come back in 10 minutes, we can continue. And again, guys, this is first session, and I'm going too fast because I just want to cover the basics really quick so we can get to good stuff. Okay.
I have a small question, if I may.
Yep.
How can we get in touch with you outside the class? Slack?
Slack.
Okay.
All time.
All right.
I have it on my phone, on my laptop, and my desktop. So Whenever you message me and I have antenna, I'll answer.
All right. Cheers. Thanks.
I'll be back. Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
My headphone just ran out of battery, so I'm switching to my laptop audio. Can't find anything. So I just moved to this new office, and it looks funny right now. Can't find anything. Continue without audio. Okay. So we are, let me see who's not back. We should probably spend some time get to know each other. I don't even know how to pronounce your names really. Who's not in Vancouver right now? So many hands. I'm in downtown Vancouver. So I'm Pacific time. If you are on a different time zone, don't worry, just message me anytime. I'm mostly up working. I basically live in this room now. That's my beanbag, if you can see it. You have no idea how many projects I delivered with this beanbag. Everybody needs a beanbag.
I can't see your video, Amir. I don't know if anyone else can.
There are two of Amir. One has webcam, one doesn't.
Oh, I see. I gotcha.
Yeah. All right. Danielle is doing something.
Yeah, I messaged you. It's I think it was a bad idea to install the 4.26.
What happened?
Because now I don't know what's wrong with my computer. I mean, I tried rebooting, but now it won't start. Like Windows won't start. It's taking too long.
Ah, you killed your machine.
I think I did.
Don't worry.
But I'll be back in.
Never
my
happened to me
PC
though.
as soon as it boots.
Are you sure you didn't do anything else? That was it?
No, that was mostly it. Well, I
So-
think it might also be that I changed from antivirus, but it's weird that it's taking this long.
You probably toasted your CPU or GPU.
Yeah.
Don't worry. We
Okay.
will fix it later. Oh, that's why you're on your phone right now.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Turn it off and then turn it on back. Should work. Okay, let's continue. Now we imported our 3D asset. Let's select all these meshes. So I'm going to select the first one. I am going to hold Shift and select the last one. And I will drag and drop this into my scene. Okay, so you see what happened? It looks really big to me, right? If a very easy way to compare everything to life size in Unreal Engine, at least that's what I do, is to use a mannequin, a 3D mannequin, to roughly guess how big or small objects are. So to get a mannequin, and Unreal already has a mannequin for you, I would go under Add New, Add Feature or Content Pack. Everybody follow me? Add New, Add Feature or Content Pack. And remember this template window that we used to create our project? And we selected the virtual reality package. Right now, we are switching to, where is it? Third person. First person, flying, puzzle, third person. There we go. I'm going to select third person package. Add to project. Right away, this happens. Third person, you see new folders here, third person and third person BP. I would go under blueprint, third person character, and drag and drop it here. So I think, I don't remember who asked me, but remember when you asked, how can I use a different character if I don't have a VR headset? This is another way. you use a third-person character. You also need to set this to, let's see, auto possess to player 0. If I can find something in this menu, because sometimes this menu can get very, very, very extensive, I would just use the search detail bar here. Auto possess. There we go. Found it. Auto possess player, and I'm going to set this to 0. And from now on, this is going to be player 0. Let me double check if I have anything else. No. Now, if I press play, here's my character. So this character is about 180 centimeters. In Unreal Engine, units are based on centimeters. Is anyone not comfortable with centimeters? Who's on inches, sorry, imperial units?
I've been in the US for like 5 years, but I never made the switch, so I'm good.
Smart. I don't get imperial. Quarter inch, eighth an inch. It doesn't make sense. Stop using it. Okay, back to this. So if this character is 180 centimeters, this solar calendar then is huge. You could go ahead, select all these, and press Control G to group it. And then your group, I can resize it from here, 0.111. And if I press F, now I get a decent size, but it's never a good idea to resize your meshes inside Unreal Engine. The best practice is to import everything in proper size. And the reason for that is the amount of light calculation you need for meshes. If you stretch something or shrink something, the number of vertices, the number of material texture is still the same. So even though you resize your mesh to something smaller, it may take Unreal Engine to work harder to process it. So the best practice is to not import anything in a wrong size. I'm going to go ahead and delete the calendar from my outliner, and then I'll go back to the clock and select everything and delete them all. After we delete this, all these meshes and materials, we re-import it, but then we look at the import window closer and use the scale option to resize the solar calendar. And you'd notice when I resized the group to 0.1, it was in a better size. So we're gonna use that conversion rate. Delete. Okay, now one more time, import Prolog, and okay, we are back in this window. So in this window, under transform, you have import transform, import rotation, and import uniform scale. I can change this to 0.1, maybe 0.15. I like to have more room. If I import, what Unreal does is it takes all those meshes and it resizes them to 0.15. But if I drag and drop them, it won't look like they were resized. They were as if they were at this scale. Check this out. I dragged and dropped the solar calendar to scene, but if I select any of these meshes, you can see the scale for it is 111. I did not resize this anymore. When we get to rendering in Unreal Engine, I'll show you why it is so important to have all your textures and UVs and everything in right size. But right now, make sure that you're importing everything in proper size. One other thing was, right now it's sitting face up. I wanted to have it face forward, but it doesn't matter. Rotation, we can easily fix this. What I'm gonna do, just to make it easier for myself, I can select everything, Control G to group everything. So from now on, if I click on any of these, the entire group is selected. I need to rotate this in Y axis. From up here, you can see there are these orange and gray icons up here. This one is right now selected and it's for translate object. I can move around. If I press on the rotate object, I get these rotation axes and I can rotate my object. And the third one is scale. I can resize the object. And I'm not resizing, I'm just rotating. And you notice that when I'm rotating the object or the group, it's snapping from 90 degree to 80, 70, 60, oh sorry, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. If you don't want to snap it, these options here are for you. This one snaps you to the grid. So if I am to move this, it's jumping 10 centimeters at a time. If I turn this off, I can move this around freely. But grid is usually useful for me. The same thing with rotation up here. If I turn this off and go to rotation, or if I press E on keyboard, E on keyboard, yes. Just like Maya, Q, W, E, R, sorry, W, E, R are very useful. I can switch from translate to rotate to scale. So I'm gonna press E on rotation. And because the snap is off, it starts to rotate at any angle that I drag it to. 90. Okay, I'm gonna place this here. And to move around in Unreal Engine, just like what I'm doing, I just right click on the level and I use ASDW to move around, just like in video games. Another shortcut. Okay, I'm done with placing this in the scene for now. I'm gonna right click on it. I'm gonna go under group, ungroup. Here's what I need to do. I need to program this solar calendar to start ticking for me. But in Unreal Engine, program means blueprinting. I need to blueprint this solar calendar to start ticking. All right, now, what I want to see is, this is my, let's say this is my minutes, this is my hour, and I believe there was a second. Where is it? Probably missing it. It's okay. We're just gonna use minutes for seconds for now. You can add another arm and make it the second counter. Here's what needs to happen. This arm needs to start to tick and rotate from the center of, from this pivot point, correct? Right? But here's the problem. You see that the arm is here, but the axes are sitting here. So if I start to rotate this, it just goes off. In the Maya class, and I think Kat is gonna cover this soon, or she has already covered this, not sure. In Unreal Engine, whatever you import into the engine, the zero point of the mesh after being imported into Unreal Engine converts to a new 000. Let me show you what I mean. I'm gonna go ahead and open Maya. You don't have to open it. Actually, you do have to open it, sorry. Please open Maya. In order to get this fixed, we need to move a few objects to the center of the scene before importing it into Unreal Engine. Think about it this way. For example, and this is a very common issue when you convert 3D assets from any format to any format. So for example, if you want to push something from SolidWorks or Maya into Unity or Unreal Engine, those engines, they understand the object position, rotation, because that object was created inside SolidWorks, for example. As soon as you export it into a different format, then it loses all the information. So I'm gonna drag and drop it here. My Maya is a bit slow. Okay. So here is the solar calendar. Imagine this is the grid and you're about this big and your solar calendar is this big. I'm not going to resize it right now, but if you look here, you can see that, okay, this arm is sitting here, whereas the center of the calendar is supposed to be here. There are a few ways to fix this. You could select the meshes. Let me think. Okay, so anything that is gonna be moving in the project needs to be at the center before you export it out of the Maya and import it into Unreal Engine. Meaning I have to select this arm, I have to go up here, and I have to click on center pivot, and look what happens. The pivot point moved from here to here. Sorry guys, I should have asked, is anyone not familiar with Maya at all? You guys all know Maya. I am really impressed. So what I need to do is I need to move the pivot point for this object to the center of Maya, to the center of my scene. And if I select it and hold down X with middle mouse button, X, middle mouse, and it snaps to the center. It's not centered yet. I like it to be right here. So I'm gonna hold down D, move this up, and let go of D, and then you see that the pivot point is almost at the center of it. If I want to be very picky about this, I can use this cut tool, create an X form here. And I can move my pivot point, hold down D, V, come on. Now the pivot point is at the very center of this second arm. And if I hold down X again, it will snap to the grid. And I'm gonna rotate this so it faces like this. The reason I moved it to the center is because, remember, in Unreal Engine, the pivot point was off. And it was by default sitting in a wrong angle. I want to start from 0, 0, 0, and I want to start from hour 0, second 0. So I'll do this, and I will go export selection. And where did I save it? I'm gonna copy this path, and I'm going to paste it here. Press enter. Now I know where it is. Let's select OBJ format. And for this one, I'm gonna go and select arm second. Press enter. Okay, I'm done in Maya. I move this arm to the center and the pivot, and I fix the pivot point for it. I'm gonna minimize this. And okay, time to update this guy. The easiest way to re-import something into Unreal Engine without deleting, changing anything is, first you have to find it in the content browser. So I'm going to click on it. From this window, if I click on this magnifying glass, it takes me to where this object is in my content browser. So what I did was, from level, I selected my mesh. As soon as I did, let's just select on something
click something. Okay, one more time. If I click this mesh, I get this detail side panel here. And under a static mesh, if I click on this magnifying glass, it will show me where the mesh is within my content browser. If I right click on it, re-import with new file, check this out. So you see how this arm is here, but the pivot point is here. If I select this and press open, it says, okay, to fix a material match, right click, or it's asking you, okay, there's a material change. Don't worry about it. Press reset to FBX, and voila. The pivot point of your of the arm is at the center of it. So if I place this here, the snap is on. I will turn it off and I will move it. To make it easier, I will just go around. The camera is moving too fast for me and I have to be slower so I can adjust it easier. I'll go under this camera speed. I will change it to 1 instead of 4. And now if I move around with ASDW and right click, you see my camera is moving a lot slower. Let's change this to 0. Oh, I'm in the wrong place. It should be here, not there. I think it should be here, right? Yeah, almost. Okay. Now this arm looks okay. Just to make it easier for you guys, I'm gonna quickly assign a new material. So I select the back plate mesh, and on the side panel, everything about it is listed here. You see the material for this plate is over here. If I click on this magnifying glass, it shows me the material is here. I'm gonna open this, change the color for it. Yep, blue. Save. And if I close, look what happened. Because I changed the material for this one, now it's easier for me to see it. So here is my second arm, and we are going to blueprint this to tick. All right. Now I will give you 5 minutes break because I think I just talked too fast. If it looks too confusing or if this is too much, don't worry. Again, you need to, we are video recording this session and you are supposed to watch this for another 20 times so you understand it completely. Do you have any questions?
One question here.
Yep.
Do you just need those 2 arms to move or the rest as well?
We will get for the assignment, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, for the assignment, we will get to the assignment in a bit. But I will leave it to you. I would rather have 2 ticking arms that are fully functional than the entire calendar just working only on 50%.
All right.
Actually, this is not a bad time to go over the assignment. Here is, and you can find this, a copy of this on Moodle. Here's what you need to do for next week. You need to import the 3D assets for the solar calendar into Unreal Engine and fix the pivot points for those parts, okay? Next, you need to assign basic materials to any mesh. So for example, when I imported the solar calendar, everything came with a material. But if I see something that does not have a material, then that is going to be a problem. For example, let's just go and say clear, clear this. Maybe not. Let me see if I can find a mesh without material. What does a honestly this will work? Okay, so if I see anything with these gray, dark and light gray checker in your assignment, that means it does not have material assigned to it. That would be a problem. So everything needs to have a material, basic material. Don't worry about making fancy materials. If you want to do it, go for it. But a simple material is okay for this assignment. So we looked at how to import 3D assets and change pivot points, and we also know how to assign materials to the mesh. Next, we are going to look at events to the actors. Okay, this part is going to be very interesting for all of you guys. Now, as soon as you import 3D mesh into Unreal Engine, remember, mesh is dumb. It's only pixels. It doesn't move. It doesn't have function. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't understand what is going on. For something to be interactive, functional in Unreal Engine, you need to use actors. By the way, because I imported these new assets, I need to go and press Save All. Now everything is saved. If Unreal crashes, I won't lose anything. Okay, perfect. Everything in your level, in order to be functional, needs to be an actor. A blueprint actor, sorry. Right now, if you look at your outliner, it says a static mesh actor for all these 3D meshes that we imported into Unreal Engine. A static mesh actor is basically just a mesh. It does not have function. It does not do anything. It just sits there. For something to be able to move or respond or be controlled, you need to convert them into blueprint class. So here's what I'm going to do. There are a million ways in Unreal Engine to deliver something. In this case, I would like to, let me think. Yeah, I would like to turn this arm into a blueprint class from a static mesh. So what I need is, I have to find where it is. So here we go. This mesh is over here. I have two options. A, to right click somewhere in my assets. I have too many items here. Okay, I'll just right click here and I'm organize this folder later. I'm going to right click here, blueprint class. I'm going to go create a new actor. I'm losing my voice. Candy. Okay, I just created a new actor, and I'm going to call this BP underscore. It's short for blueprint BP seconds. Enter. And there we go. I'm going to go ahead and drag and drop this into the level right away. Okay. As soon as you do that, you will see this white sphere sitting in here. Now, I'm going to go and double click on BP seconds. And I could easily drag this and snap it to, or dock it in here. Or undock it for now. So check this out. We are inside an actor window right now. There are few things in actor that we need to cover quickly. This panel has all the components in it. Components means you could have sound, audio, light, effects, anything added to this actor. So this actor is like, remember in Need for Speed or Call of Duty or Fortnite, an actor could have multiple features in it. So this is where you add all those features. There is a huge drop-down list of everything that you can add to an individual actor. In this case, we are adding a static mesh. Now, if I click on it, it's asking me, okay, you just added a static mesh, but it's empty. What is this? What is this mesh that you're trying to add? In order to do that, I could go here and I know, okay, this is the arm that I'm trying to add to this actor. So I click it. I find it in my content browser with this magnifying glass icon. And I could easily, oh, no, sorry, here. And here it is. I could drag and drop it into this static mesh here. Or I could have this selected, click on this left arrow, and it will assign whatever that is highlighted in the content browser. Just like that. This is a very useful tool. You don't have to drag and drop it. You can just select it, go to the next window and apply. Something that Unity is missing right now, I think. Does Unity have this right now? Maybe no. All right. Compile and save. By the way, the one thing that I always change in this interface is instead of just compile, I would just go and save and compile on success only. What it does is there are two actions that you have to do every time you make a change to an actor. You have to compile and save so you don't lose it. But if I change this setting from save and compile on success only, when I compile it, it also saves it for me. Does that make sense? All right, now check this out. Remember this actor we created? If I drag and drop another one here, you can see it. I'll just go and delete this one so it's easier for you to see it. This actor here is sitting here. Now I want to place this guy here and replace this guy here with this. So I could go ahead and move this here and delete this arm here so I can place it here, but then it's gonna be too much work. There is an easier way to do this. I'm gonna go ahead and click and select this arm, right click on location, copy, select this actor here on location and paste. You can always, in Unreal Engine, you can always right click on these details and copy or paste it. And if you want to know what you are exactly copying, if I select copy, and I'm just going to go and open a notepad, and if I paste it here, it's actually an X and Y and Z that you're copying here. If I copy something else, for example, editor billboard scale, and paste it here, it's 0.111. If I copy this, use config default. All these fields are selectable, copy, and pasteable. I don't think that's a term. Now, let's rotate it so it is on the right angle and right position. And I think I have two of these on top of each other. Yes. Delete. Paste. Uh-oh. Yeah, it's okay. I'll just move it anyway. Okay, now it is sitting here. Now, right now we have an actor that is sitting on this solar calendar. Now we can ask this actor to work for us. Now, remember I said this folder is too cluttered for me. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a new folder and I'm gonna call this mesh. And I'm gonna select all these meshes. Shift select the last one, drag and drop on this folder. It says, okay, you are trying to move or copy. And I'm gonna say, no, I'm moving everything here. Being organized is important, remember. Okay, those are gone. I have way too material here. I'm going to create a folder and call it math. Unreal uses math as material, so I follow the standard. And I'm going to move everything here. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. God damn it. Okay, done. See how much better it is. Save all, make sure you're saving. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and double click on BP seconds. So this list here has all the components that this actor has. Right now, we just added a static mesh. If you don't see your 3D previewer anymore, it's because you're under Event Graph tab, which we are going to be used in a second. But under Viewport, here is the 3D asset you added as a static mesh component. And do you see this white annoying circle in the center? If you want to get rid of it, you don't have to, but if you want to get rid of it, sometimes I do. You just have to add a scene and drag and drop it here, and that white circle is gone. It's not important, I just don't like that. It's very annoying. But maybe I shouldn't for the sake of this assignment. Okay, now, here is what I need to do. Let's see. Because I did not rotate this in a right angle. Oh, that's fine. So here is under Viewport, and you can see what is happening. What is the visual components of your actor. If you want to program something, you have to go under Event Graph, and you will see this black and gray grid. This is where you add nodes to your blueprint to make something functional. Basically, this is where you're programming, visual scripting. Am I going too fast, or this is okay? All right.
It's okay, but I have a quick question.
Say what?
It's okay, but I have a quick question.
Yes.
About the re-import the needle.
Yep.
After adjusting the pivot, could you show us again?
Okay, so did you change your pivot point inside Maya?
Yeah, and I export selection.
Okay. All right. Now you have to come. Let's find where this asset is right now. You have to right click on that specific mesh.
Okay.
Re-import with new file.
Yep.
And then it will ask you, okay, where is this new file? And then you select it, and then it says, is this the one? Do you want to reset material? You can just set reset, and then you have the new mesh.
I did the same, but it didn't change.
Are you sure you exported the selected one and then you are selecting the exact same file?
Okay, I will retry this and I will follow up.
I'll come back to it. I'll quickly do the visual scripting for this one, and then I'll go and help you guys individually if there is something you need. Now, under Event Graph, and I can drag and drop this so I can make this side by side so we can see what's happening. All right, here's what I need to do. I need this to start ticking in Z-axis. So if you look here, you can see that this is blue is Z, and I want it to tick in this direction. And if I look in this transform, you can see the rotation for this mesh. The Z-axis is going to start to change if I manually do it. So I know that Z-axis is the one I want to start to tick. Let me open the note I made. All right, I don't need you right now. I'm going to do begin play, set timer, add actor world location. Perfect. Okay, this is the most important thing you're going to learn today. The key to Unreal Engine is time, like I said before, and we're going to look at it. everything, think about it. Okay, so how does a microwave work? How does a lamp work? They all need power. They need to be plugged into electricity. In Unreal Engine, electricity is time. And to start something to work, you need to feed it with time, either with one tick or continuous tick. For example, if you want to turn off the light or turn on or off the light in Unreal Engine, you just have to send one tick, just like that. And we will actually see how it ticks in Unreal Engine. It's beautiful, it's visual. So check, I'm gonna go and delete these ones. Here is the node that I need to use. From event begin play, I'm gonna go and drag a white line, and I will search for set timer by event. This is like a ticking node. And I want it to be looped because I want it to continue ticking. And I want it to tick every second. So time is 1.0, 1.0. So every second, this node will fire again and again and again. All right. Next, I'm gonna drag from this event node. We are going into intermediate blueprint. So we are not in basic anymore. If you can't follow, don't worry. I'll explain everything. I'll drag here and I will search for custom event, add custom event. Right away, it creates this red node. I will call this tick event or tick. All right. Is everybody following me? All right. Now, here's what's going to happen. As soon as I start the game, event begin play, because we are using it, starts to send one tick, or it only fires once. It fires to this node, set timer by event. And this node is a ticking node. It will start to tick every second and it loops itself. So it ticks, 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 ticks. And any custom event node that is connected to this node here receives the tick. Again, we are not in basic. Don't worry if it's going into advanced too quick. I'll explain everything. Now, from here, let's do one simple test. I'm gonna go and search for a node called print. All right. Here's what's gonna happen. The game starts, the tick node starts to tick, it fires to this tick event. And then every second, I'm gonna see the message hello on top left on my screen. Let's check this out. I'm gonna go and snap this back here, undock this. I'm gonna go put them side by side so you will see exactly what's gonna happen next. Gonna go under play. See what happened? It fired once, and now this one, this guy is falling, don't worry. So this node here started firing once, and this node started to tick, and now this tick goes through this red line and fires this tick event. And every second it repeats itself. So you get this hello message fired, and it's getting printed on this screen here. Because it's, if I change the time for this guy here, the duration for the print node to stay, if I press play, look what happens. I'll get a hello node printed every time it ticks. And you see how it goes from red to white? That's when between ticks. So in here, you can see that it says hello, 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 hello. Okay, that was my test. I know if I use this node, it should work because I saw it ticking. Now, here's what I want to do. I want this to be ticking in Z-axis. So I need to, let me check, where was it? Add actor world rotation. Perfect. What I need is, remember this component we added, this 3D mesh that was the seconds arm? I'm gonna drag and drop it into my event graph. Basically, what I'm doing is I'm dragging it here so I can use it as part of the code. Now, I'm gonna search for actor add rotation, add local rotation. And I'm gonna connect this to this node. So the game begins, the timer starts to tick, and it fires to this custom event that we just made. And here it fires this node every time. And what it does is basically what it says, add local rotation. And if I add 1, or maybe I should just add 10 so we can see, it will rotate by 10 degrees in z-axis. Compile, save, and I'm going to play. Where did the guy go? Because I don't want to use this anymore, I can delete it. And if I press play, it starts to tick. Okay, now one more step and we are going on a break. Right now it looks okay, but I want it to be more immersive. And if you look at the assignment breakdowns, I asked you to add sound to the actor. So here's what I want to do. I will just go back to this clock. I do have an audio file, if I could find it. Please. There we go. Please download this audio wave file from Slack. I will add all these assets into Moodle later, so you can download them from there or from here. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to press import, and where did I save it? Oh, under downloads. Okay, download, and if I'm not mistaken, it should be here. There we go. It has a funny name. Let me rename this quickly from here. Right-click, rename. Save. I added the audio file to my Unreal project. Remember this list of components? I can go ahead and search for, no, not sound, sorry, audio. Here's what happened. It says, okay, you're trying to add audio, but I noticed that you selected an audio file already. So are you trying to add this audio to your actor? And I'm going to say yes. If by any chance you have not selected this one and you're trying to add an audio, this is what you do. You search for audio and add an audio component, and right away you see the audio icon in the center. From here, the drop down, you need to find the tick wave file that we just added. Compile and save. Audio is now added to my actor. And if I hover over this one, you can just play it from here. I don't have a speaker on this machine, so you can't hear it, but it's basically a tick. We just added the audio component, but it's not going to play on itself. What you need is from here, drag and drop the audio component here, play, connect these two, and if I play now, it should be ticking, and you should be hearing a ticking sound with it. And if I go over here, you can see as soon as the game began, the ticker started and its custom event started firing, tick, 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 tick. Okay, let's do a short break. I'm here to answer questions. If you are not following, if I'm going too fast, let me know. But again, This is first class, so it's supposed to be difficult for you. Don't panic. All right. Are we gonna sit in an awkward silence, or you guys can wanna ask questions? Carlos, is that actually where you are right now, or that's just a fake background?
I wish. No, I'm here in California.
Oh, nice. Damn, I wish I was there. Look at, I can't show you window, but it's so depressing in Vancouver right now. It rains about an ocean.
It's pretty nice weather here. Yeah, I can't complain.
Yeah, I'm
We
wearing
still
a
get sun. I
sweater
can
and
go
you're on
outside
t-shirt.
in a t-shirt.
Yeah, must be nice. I'm gonna go ahead and ask you guys, how do you pronounce your names? Kane, is that right? You go
Yeah.
by Kane?
That's correct. Like Hurricane.
Elia?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Elia, whatever you prefer.
Okay. And Anias?
Is Anais.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Why does Eric call you Anarov?
Because my name in Discord is Anurab. That's why.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
And I never change it, but yeah.
Jasmine, Danielle, Matthew, who else? Austin. I think that's all. Shree, is that how you pronounce it?
Shrey.
Shrey. All right. Okay, let's do another. It's 11:03. Let's start 11:10. When I switched from Unity to Unreal Engine, there was a video tutorial, and then back in 2014 or 2013, there were not much video tutorials on YouTube for Unreal. So I found this 1 4-hour video tutorial, and I can tell you I watched it 30 times. And I didn't finish it 30 times. I just started. 15 minutes later, I couldn't follow, so I started over again and over again and over again, to the point where at the 30th or 40th time, maybe 3 months later, I finally was able to finish the project. You're basically gonna live in it.
It's a tough program, man. It's a tough program.
Unreal Engine is a very, very complicated software. At the same time, it's very simple to use. It could get very complicated.
This is maybe my 5th or 6th year and still confusing to me.
Unreal is confusing to you. What do you prefer?
I mean, this stuff, the blueprints and the stuff like that, these are confusing. I don't usually use them. I use it for ArcViz mostly, but the blueprint system is hectic.
What is your background?
Architecture, interior design, and ArcViz.
And is that your focus?
Mostly, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I've done a lot of environment work as well on it, but the most is ArcViz.
Okay. That's very interesting. I'd like to know more about what you are planning to do with Unreal Engine. And for term 2, we can definitely come up with a project that is more like your focus.
That's why I asked you about how I can contact you. You said via Slack, because I've done like 3 or 4 show reads already on Unreal. I would like to share them with you so you can direct me in turn 2.
Okay, sure. Absolutely.
Cool.
11:05. Does anyone play Age of Empire?
The old one, not the new one.
I
Age of
do.
Empire 2, definitive.
Yep.
Yeah, nice.
The old one, yeah.
We have a small group in Vancouver and we play weeknights. And I think all husbands should join this group. It's so much fun.
You're Arabic, right, Amir?
Huh?
You're Arabic?
No, I'm from Iran.
Ah, Iranian. I'm Lebanese.
Oh, we're neighbors.
Your
almost.
neighbor, yeah. Khosh Amdid.
Khosh Ahmadid. I would love to go to Lebanon. Oh, their foods are amazing, guys. You guys should try Lebanese food. They're probably one of the best. It's 8,000 calories on a plate, but it's worth it. Amount of sugar is insane, but they make it like magical. Spice and sugar.
You only stop eating when you're dead in Lebanon, when you pass out.
That's horrible. I was planning to travel this summer, last summer, but then everything got canceled. Let's hope for a better summer this year.
I have a question.
Yep.
When you are dealing with the Honda team in SolidWorks, did they convert their model into OBJ for Unreal, and how did you animate or manage that? Because it's a thing I stuck for one time, and the meshes
Yep.
become so weird I couldn't even deal it, so I leave it.
SolidWorks, it depends on how big the project is. Was it too many meshes?
I think it was near about 70 to 800 parts, but the
70.
animation was
Okay, 100 parts. Let's say 100 meshes. So it's not
Yeah.
a lot of meshes. Did you
Yeah.
use LOD groups or you just imported them as is, as are?
I think I imported them as normally without any.
Okay. When you export from SolidWorks to Unreal Engine and you don't have that many assets, you should definitely use DataSmith.
Okay.
But if you are planning to texture them outside, like if you're planning to export from SolidWorks to Substance Painter so you can texture them, or inside Maya so you can texture them and modify them and then push them into Unreal Engine, then you need to establish your pipeline for the application. So if you're doing an AR, it's a different pipeline. If you're doing VR, it's a separate pipeline. If you're doing like visualization desktop, it's also a separate pipeline. We will cover optimization in, I think it's week 7 or week 8. How to import assets from, how to translate CAD into Mesh for Unreal Engine. Right now, the company I'm working with is specialized in CAD conversion for Unreal Engine. That's exactly what we do. So we turn in like, and these are like minimum numbers I'm talking about. So we convert 100 gigabytes of CAD into a mesh for Unreal or Unity. And there are different pipelines for everything. If you have a project right now, you can show it to me later and I can explain what might be a better option. If you don't have a project, then you need to wait and we will cover it.
Okay. Thanks.
Right now, I'm working with 2 helicopter manufacturing in Europe, and they have massive amount of 3D data that they are trying to use in Unity. Like it's insane how much CAD files go into Unity.
I have seen the CAD model of ash handling plant.
Yeah.
The whole plant was modeled into SolidWorks, so importing this alone caused the whole system to shut down. That's the file size.
Yeah.
Can't import it that much big file. So
Yeah.
even a server can't handle the whole its own software. How can another software can handle it?
Even if you manage to import it into Unreal, it still can't play.
Yeah.
Don't worry, you're not alone. Welcome back, Jasmine. So let me guess.
Can you listen to me?
So what was that?
Can you listen to me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay, thank you. I'm back now.
All right.
Thank you.
I had another student last year, and he turned his closet into a game station, and it looked amazing. Everything was RGB LED. It was either black or RGB. After 8 months, you just had to see him. He looked destroyed. Like he couldn't see white anymore. It was just, everything was LED for him. It looked pretty cool though. Okay, let's go to your assignment sheet. Add generic lighting, organize the content browser. Okay, let's go to lighting. Oh, before we go to lighting, let's expand on this. For next week, I'm expecting you guys to do as minimum as possible, just so you can have a clock, a ticking clock. Don't worry about the entire calendar. Don't worry about all the details around it. And I will update Moodle about what I expect to see for next week. But what I'm trying to show you guys is how you design a system in Unreal Engine. So a system is, can anyone explain what a system is? Austin, you look like you know what a system is.
I guess, I don't know in this context, but maybe just all put together. I'm trying not to use the word system, but I guess a bunch of different cogs working together, such as the ticking and everything coming together to make a process.
Yeah. Okay, so for example, in this clock, your clock, the clock is your system. It needs to work in synchronization. Every part of it needs to work precisely, right? Otherwise, it goes out of sync. In this project, what I did was I basically just made this actor that only is 4 seconds. So if I make an actor that ticks on its own and another actor that ticks on its own, then at some point it might just run out of synchronization for whatever reason. It may not tick, it may stop working, or it may just get destroyed through the gameplay or get replaced by another actor. We don't know. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna create a second actor, and then I will use this level blueprint, the level itself that comes with a blueprint to control everything, make everything tick together. Does that make sense? This is what we are gonna do in next few minutes. So let's do another, I'm gonna go ahead and for the sake of this exercise, I can delete this one, and I can, because I have one good pivot point, then let me see. Okay, I'm gonna cheat a little. I'm gonna select this mesh again, and I'm gonna create a second actor, and I will add this same mesh to it, but we will just, you just have to imagine that this isn't a different arm. Let's go under clock. I'm gonna right click here, blueprint class, and I'm gonna click on actor, BP, minutes. All right. Now here I need to add the arm here under static mesh, and I could just go search for static mesh here, or I could select the mesh, which I know is this guy, and then go here and search for static mesh under add component. I will say, hey, you selected a static mesh already. Do you want to add this? And I'll say yes. Easy. I'm going to resize it a little so we can see the difference. Compile and save. And now if I drag and drop it here, I want to drop it right where the pivot point for the other one is. So I'm going to go select this one, copy the location for it, and paste the location for this one. It's on Okay. This is the shorter one, that is the longer one. I have two actors here. One is a second and the other one is a minute. I'm basically gonna copy paste this code here from seconds. I can go here and paste it right here. If I compile, I get these two errors. It says, hey, you copy pasted something from another actor and I don't recognize them. Because, well, this static mesh is not this guy. So I have to drag and drop it here and plug this one instead of this one and get rid of this because this is a different mesh. And the audio, because I have not added the audio, I have to right click, copy, come back here, select the root and paste it here. This one is identical to this one. So if I compile, this error goes away. Easy. In Unreal Engine, you can copy paste a lot of things. You don't have to recreate. Okay, now see what happens. If I press play, they both are gonna start at the same time. Okay, they both are ticking individually. They are not in synchronization. For me to control it, here's an easy way to do this. Event begin play starts on its own. It's the source of power in every actor. As soon as you use this, let me delete this. If I right click event begin play, it's the most common used node in Unreal Engine. It already has a star next to it, is because it's one of the favorites and you will be using it. It's just easier to find it. Event begin play has its own function in it, and if you open this project in Visual Studio, you can actually see the code behind it. We are not going to get involved in that. These nodes are responsible for starting the tick in these two actors, and because of it, these actors are working individually. Instead, I want to make these blueprints to be in synchronized or be controlled by a higher level actor. And but what do I mean by that? See, everything is inside your level, all the actors, everything. That means your level has a higher priority. It can control everything because everything is inside level. And the level, just like any actors we created, has the same event graph or blueprint. If I go under blueprints, open level blueprint, then you see the exact same event graph that you have under other actors. This one does only have an event graph, doesn't have a 3D previewer, because this is your 3D and this is the blueprint for it. Does that make sense? Jasmine? Yes? All right. I'm gonna undock this. So check this out. Level blueprint is one of the most important components in Unreal Engine. It controls everything in your level. It has full power and it has access to all the actors in your level. It can control them. It can control them. If I select this actor here, and if I right click on level blueprint, right away you can see create a reference to BP minutes. This means you just added BP minutes actor to your level blueprint. What do you want to do to it now? You can do it. Now, I want to say, level blueprint, please tick all these actors for me. So I want the source of the tick to be only one location inside level blueprint, and the tick fires to these actors. So instead of actors firing on their own, they will receive fire from level blueprint. Let's go ahead. So remember this event begin play that we used here? I'm gonna go and delete this. And I'm also gonna go here and delete this one for both. I'll go back to seconds, drag from this node, custom event, and I'm going to say ticking. Sorry, I'm going to call this fire. Compile, and I'm going to make another one for minutes, and I'm going to call this fire. I'm going to call this 2 because it's so you don't get confused. So this event and this event here, these can be controlled from level blueprint now. I have the second here and the minute here, and I'm going to create a reference to it. Now, remember we deleted the event begin play nodes from those actors. We're going to be using them here. At event begin play, I want you BP seconds to receive a call from or fire from me. So remember BP seconds, we added this custom event here. If I drag here and I search for fire, it gives me the fire target BP second. It's gonna call the fire node from here. Also under BP minutes, I added this fire 2. If it's too confusing, don't worry. As soon as I press play, you will see what's happening. Okay, let me duck from here. Duck from here because I need to show you guys. 1 through, and this is my level blueprint. As soon as I begin the game, here's what's gonna happen. Level blueprint, oh, come on. There we go. As soon as I play the game, level blueprint, the event begin play node in level blueprint is gonna fire, and it's gonna call the fire event and fire 2 event from these actors. So now one node was responsible to call the fire for those 2 actors. There is no way they could run out of synchronization. So your system is in sync now. Basically what you did was you centralized the initial event call. Sometimes it's not a good idea to centralize everything, but sometimes it's necessary. Okay, now I have another problem. The second and the minute are ticking together. And for that, can anyone tell me what I need to change here in order to change the frequency of the tick?
The time and set time by event.
Minute. Yes.
60 seconds. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm inside my BP minute. Where do I change?
The first node, set timer by event, the time.
Okay, and I change it to what?
Multiplied by 60.
Multiplied by 60. Okay. So every 60 seconds it ticks. Okay, let's check this out. It worked. Let's see if it works when it goes to a minute. So boring. Doesn't have sound, doesn't have light, nothing. It didn't work. Why?
Because the rotation change is not correct.
What do you mean?
I guess it's too fast. So it's not 60. It wasn't 60 seconds yet.
Now it just moved.
The rotate angle is wrong. That's why.
Yeah.
Yep. So it wasn't really 60 seconds, it was just going too fast. So you see how math is important here? Who doesn't like math? Come on. This is you. Welcome to the rest of your life. It's gonna be all math. I hated math. I hated math so much. But then the only reason I understood, the only reason I hated math is because I couldn't understand the application for it. In Unreal Engine, you can see, okay, this is useful, so you start to learn it slowly. But you can choose what to learn in math. That's what I like about Unreal Engine. Okay, let's basically, you have 30 seconds, and 30 seconds, in 30 seconds, you have to travel 360 degrees. So for every second, how much do you have to rotate?
6.
Thank you. And I have to change it from here as well. All right, now here's a quick lesson. Sometimes we have to change numbers frequently, but I don't want to open every actor so I can change them. In order to do that, instead of just opening them, I just like to click here, and then from these settings or details here, I just want to be able to quickly change something. So if I go to seconds, and if I go, for example, if I want to change the time, if I right click on it, I have the option to promote this number into a variable. As soon as I do that, look what happens. I get this green node connected to this pin, and it's sitting here bottom right. I'll change this to, let's call this second delay, because that's how much you want to add delay to it. And this variable is sitting here. Think of variable as like a side note. If you want to memorize something, or if you want to save something on the side and reuse it somewhere else in the code, you promote them into variables. So if I move this here, look what happens. You can either get them or set them. Also, right now it is at 1 second. For me to be able, but it's not showing on this side panel yet. What I need to do is to make this public or make it visible. So if I click on this eye icon here and compile again, where are you? There we go. Second delay, and I can change it from here. If I change this to 5, every 5 seconds it's going to take. Come on. There we go. If I want to take a lot faster, I can do 0.1, and it's going to go much faster. All right. The other use case for variable is if I want to have the one number set, for example, I want it to be set to 1 at all time. But let's say my clock was one giant actor, and I wanted to have my second delay here. So I could grab it here, and I could multiply it, for example, by 2, and plug it into this node. So every second it will move the tick, but every 2 seconds it will play the sound. Because now it's only one place that you set your second delays. All right. It's still not rotating at the, maybe it is. Let's test this. Okay, I want to make sure that it is rotating in the right angle. So let's do this. Every time you take, I also want you to print the rotation of the arm. So I'm gonna drag from here, and I'm gonna search for print. This node prints everything on the side of the screen. And you can expand this, and you have all these other options on the side. And every fire I want to get this mesh, get rotation of the mesh, get relative rotation, right click on it, split structure pin. As soon as I do that, sorry, I should have explained this. So as soon as I drag this to get relative rotation, this node gives me the rotation of this mesh here, X, Y, Z of the rotation. And I can actually get individual X or Y or Z. And if I drag from this pin to this pin, it will be printing the Z rotation or the Z angle of my mesh and print it on screen. 6, 12, 18. Yeah, perfect. Okay, it looks like it's working. $161. Okay. Come on, come on. Just to make sure that the minutes arm is also taken. Okay, it worked. All right, let's go and look at your assignments. Organize the content browser, add generic lighting. All right, we do this one last thing, and then I will go over your assignment.
I have a question, if I may.
Yes.
It's a two-part question. Basically, is there an actual need to use the level blueprint? Can we not create one blueprint for both of them, the same one?
Yep. Yeah, there are a million ways to do it, whatever that works.
Okay, the second question is what if I don't want to add time for the minutes? I want to add a complete rotation for the second before the minute moves.
Sorry, I'm not clear.
Okay, and the second blueprint, let's say I'm gonna combine both.
Yep.
Let's say I want to fire the minute tick, not after an actual 1 minute, after a complete rotation for the seconds.
So when it gets to 61 seconds, you mean?
Exactly, yeah. When you have a full rotation, 360 rotation.
Should be easy. Does that work?
Without the need for a set timer for the minutes, I mean.
Oh, okay. For that, this is what you need to do. And because I approach it in this way, it's going to be difficult to do it. But if you control everything from level blueprint, then you know exactly how many times your actors are ticking. And then you have to monitor this second arm, how many times it ticked. As soon as it hits 60, then you fire the minute arm and it moves. Again, because I approach it from this angle, then it's going to be I have to go a lot back and make this change.
It's okay, thanks.
But if you want to do it, I can show you in a one-on-one. All right, now let's do a very generic lighting. For next week, I need you guys to use some lighting in your scene. Right now, the only thing, let's just quickly organize this outliner because it looks really, really extensive. Go down here. Select all these, and I want to move them into a folder. Remember, this folder, if you add any folder here, it does not mean you're adding any folder here. This is just for outliner. And I can right click on it and I can say move to create new folder. Clock. And boom, my outliner is more organized now. The point light is always a good option. Let me just delete the directional light so you don't see anything. If I use a spotlight, the reason you couldn't see anything is because I had pressed G on my keyboard. G is shortcut to editor or game mode. So if you press G, it basically give you a rough idea of how your game is going to look like without all these editor assets in it. This is my Spotlight. Spotlight has very unique features and it's extremely useful. It's the most common light used for most projects. Oh, go back here. Thank you. We will cover lights in more details week 3 or week 4. But just so you know, a spotlight is always a cone shape and you can control the size of it, the intensity of it. Do you want it to be a temperature or color control? And if I want to see everything without all the icons, I press G and I see, okay, this looks nice. And if I don't like the color on the background, did you start? Oh yeah, okay. Remember we selected the starter content when we created the project? Under starter content folder that came with that option, you will see a lot of materials. So if I go under materials, I can simply drag and drop it onto the mesh or onto the material element here. It's compiling, it will show up in a second. Come on, there we go. It doesn't look good because your UVs are missing. Let's try something else. Did Kat cover UVs?
Not
No,
yet.
not yet. Okay, I'm sure she will. If not, I will help you guys. Because it doesn't have a UV, it won't probably work. Let's see what it looks like. Huh, I like it. All right, so I have one light and that's why it looks so dark here. What I would also like to add is I will search for sky dome. How come it doesn't have a sky? AR skylight, sky atmosphere, skylight. It's missing a sky dome in the starter content. That's new. Why? Okay, weird. I'll figure this out. So I was saying, a spotlight is always a cone shape. Point light is more like this. It's a giant sphere and it just shoots light in every direction. Of course, you can, sorry, I forgot to explain. You have the same intensity control, temperature control, but instead of the cone size, you have the radius size. So you can make it smaller or bigger. Spotlight, rectangle light. The rectangle and point light are the same, except that rectangle is more expensive. So if you're using it, be careful. Skylight is not an actual light, it's bounce light. And we are not using it for this assignment because you need to make some changes in your setting before you can use it. All right, let's go over the assignment. So for next week, I'm expecting you guys to just show me a working clock. And then from there, we will start to top it up with additional features. I need you to import all the 3D assets into your scene. If you are planning on moving any of the other arms, you have to open them inside Maya, move them to the center of the scene, and then re-import them into Unreal Engine. All right. If you don't know how to do it, message me on the Slack, and I will. Well, we just really recorded the session, so you can go over this. Or if you need help, I can help you with those as well. So you need to import all your 3D assets. Make sure everything goes into proper folders. I don't want to see any gray checkmark materials on any meshes. Make sure everything has materials. Even solid white is okay with me. Add events to the actors. Basically what we did with blueprints. I want to see some of these blueprints. All right. Sound, we added sound to our to the arm, so I want to see those sound components for actors. We have some generic lighting. To me, this is enough. For now, this is enough because Unreal Engine is light-based render engine. If you don't have light in your scene, it won't render it. Remember when I deleted those lights, it just got rid of everything. You couldn't see anything, pitch black. That's why. And then, yeah, make sure your content browser is organized. Avoid plagiarism. If you're copy pasting from somewhere, let me know. It's very simple. Right now, I just passed you guys. If you're using any 3D assets, any audio files, anything you're using in this project, you have to cite them. Just include them in your. The simplest way is to create a simple. Oh, what did I do? Sorry. A simple text document, open it, and then start writing 3D assets provided by artist. This is a download link. Audio asset provided by this artist, download link. You have to cite them. The 3D assets I provided you guys with, it was provided by an artist from TurboSquid. This is not a commercial license, so you cannot be using these assets outside of the school. If you want to, you have to purchase them yourself. What else? Okay, and let's go over breakdown. This assignment has a total of 10 points. I will finish the schedule for this term and I will post it on Moodle so you see what are the next assignments and how much grade are for each assignments over the weekend. I will update you guys. But for this one, what you are going to do in this assignment is I want these to be recognizable in your project for whatever you're delivering next week. It needs to be immersive. That means it needs to be life size. Remember, we import a mannequin package so we could figure out how big or small the clock is. It needs to be functional. The clock is ticking. It needs to tick. All assets are in proper folder. All meshes have materials. The VR feature pack is added to the level. If you don't have your headset by next week, don't worry. I will mark or grade you whenever you receive your VR headset or whenever your VR headset starts to work. So don't panic if you don't have a headset or if it's not working. All right. Also, I added some additional optional reading here about project requirements, project specifications, objectives. These are terms that it's good for you to know. If you end up working in a studio or you start working as a freelancer, you need to communicate with your client. You need to ask them, okay, what is this project about? What do you want to show? What are the requirements? How many clocks you want to show? Numbers needs to be quantifiable. They all need to be documented before you start a project. So if you're reading this part, it could be very useful for you. It's optional. All right. So do you guys have any questions for me? I'm going to turn on this webcam here, see what it looks like from two different angles. Nice. So how was it? Was it too difficult? Did I go too fast? I feel like I'm in an episode of SpongeBob. 2 hours later.
It's fair. It's kind of fair. Yeah, it was fine.
Okay.
Not too fast.
All right. So we have 15 minutes. I think this is a good time to get to know each other. Can we start with Kane?
Yep. Hi, my name is Kane Kim. I'm from South Korea. and I'm currently living in Vancouver. I have a background in mechanical engineering, but I wasn't that good at it. And I came here to Vancouver to learn 3D animation, but I found out that I like development more, and I got landed in here. And I both interested in AR and VR, and Unity and Layer equally. And I'm very excited to learn everything.
If you're a mechanical engineer and you know game engine, then you are basically a god. Nothing can stop you.
Thank you.
Jasmine.
Hi, Jasmine Winter here. So I was born and raised in Vancouver. That's where I'm currently located. Went away to school in Montreal and Winnipeg to study economic development. And prior to this, I came from a very different field. I was a director at a nonprofit addressing the digital divide in Indigenous communities in BC. So I am really interested in things like digital storytelling and, as you said, you know, experimental art projects, but I'm certainly very glad to balance that out with more practical applications for these tools.
The market for entertainment used to be very small using game engines, but now it's growing insanely fast. Unreal Engine has invested $4.5 billion in movie production for next 2 years. Lots of studios are using Unreal Engine for cinematography. I have a few friends that are working at Mainframe. I think that's what it's called. And they used to use Arnold and Maya to animate and render. Now they're using Unreal Engine. So there is a very fast growing market for it. Is that your focus, entertainment?
Yeah, I would say that is the focus, storytelling, whether it be for entertainment or education or advocacy, everything within that sphere. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, fantastic. Danielle.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah.
Mixture of game design.
Okay. Sorry, you're cutting off.
I'm sorry for that. I should also apologize because the thing like next door. So it's a lot of there's a
I can't hear you. Sorry. Can we come back to you later? Your audio is cutting up. Sorry. Austin, what is your background?
Hey, so I'm Austin. I'm originally from Texas, but I'm actually up in BC as well, just over in Victoria. I recently finished the computer engineering program at Camosun College here in Victoria. And so, yeah, I got a little bit of background with some programming, and I did take a class that was called Object-Oriented Design. So I have a little bit of background with Unity and Visual Studios, but Unreal is completely new to me, but I'm somewhat able to keep up and figure out what's going on.
If you're starting with Unity or you're familiar with Unity, Unreal is going to be a lot easier for you because Unity is way more difficult.
Yeah, I've never I see the node stuff and I was just afraid to try it out, but just seeing it in practice, I mean, it's really straightforward and yeah, I'm excited.
Unreal's focus is to make everything human readable, like artist friendly, basically. If I'm looking for a function, I just right click in the event graph and I search for move or rotate or jump. And you'll be surprised to find that this function exists. You don't have to program it anymore.
Yeah, it sounds like a huge relief just seeing like the timers and stuff. I don't have to, code out a timer.
What is your interest or focus?
Interests all over the place, but related to this program, mainly virtual reality, kind of on the gaming side, just because I love to play video games in my free time.
Mm-hmm.
But I can see myself long-term, probably assuming that AR technology picks up. I would love to focus on AR for like the workplace and improving people's daily lives, just like various ways. Yeah.
So AR applications.
Exactly. Yeah. Hopefully long term, like assuming more lightweight glasses will come out in the next few years, and just it all depends on what technology
Are you
allows.
thinking industrial applications or entertainment applications?
Probably at that point more so industrial.
Okay.
Yeah, it kind of depends, because like I can think of examples in my life where AR could improve, like whether I'm working in like a back room in a store doing an inventory. I would love to have some glasses that can like highlight the box that I'm looking for before my eyes can scan all the boxes. Just things like that.
I think you guys are doing AR with Peter next term, augmented reality in Unity. He's very knowledgeable, and he has done some really great work in with HoloLens. No, sorry, with Magic Leap.
Okay, awesome.
Magic Leap is more into, well, their focus used to be in entertainment, but it seems like they're shifting into industrial applications. And they are more open to let people try their hardware. HoloLens is extremely expensive and is very exclusive to giant corporations and not much for individuals. But Peter has a great connection. You should probably talk to him.
Okay, awesome.
Aaron, I'm going to call you Aaron.
That's fine. So my name is Anaid Ron. I'm from Ecuador. Right now I'm in Ecuador, in Quito. That's the capital.
What time is it there?
It's almost 3 p.m. You just have 3 hours.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, it's not that bad. And I studied product design in Quebec, in Canada. I was studying 3D modeling in Paris, and I did the pathway with VCC. So
nice.
With Kane and with Daniel, and yeah.
Very nice. What is your focus?
I'm not sure yet. I just know that I would like to work in the car industry, automobile industry.
Sorry, what industry?
Car, automobile.
Car industry.
Yeah. But I'm not sure yet. I'm really open about my future right now. So.
I think you have a very good future. Car industry is moving to tech side pretty quick.
Yeah.
We'll see. Carlos.
Hi, my name is Carlos Fernandez. I'm interested in level design and environment art, specifically in 3D. I'm definitely more interested in VR rather than AR. My general aim for this program is to be able to create immersive environments in VR. I have a little bit of experience with VR games, having done my senior project in it was a VR cooking game. So I have a little bit of experience, but that was done in the Unity engine. So I'm glad I'm getting to learn about the Unreal Engine. But for that project, I was purely art. So I'm interested in learning more about the actual, like a more holistic knowledge of understanding how games are made. I'm more experienced in Blender and Unity, like I said before. So it's a little bit of a switch going to Maya and Unreal. But
for my class, you don't have to do Maya. You can just use Blend. It's pretty powerful.
Great, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
Nice. And you're aiming for entertainment or industrial?
Or
game?
More, I'd say entertainment. Yeah.
Entertainment. All right. Matthew.
Hello, I'm Matthew. I'm originally from Calgary, Alberta, but I'm here in Vancouver now. Some past experience, I've been taking open studies the past couple of years and just kind of working. And what my most interests are in this this course is probably AR, and probably applying AR to either entertainment or education or medical fields. And so that's kind of my goal for this course.
Medical field.
Yeah.
VR or AR?
Either I probably want to work on AR, but I'm open to VR too for that particular field, because it's still pretty new. It's still kind of nothing's really used in like in a professional setting like a hospital, but they have been testing out like applications like in nursing homes. Like for one example, they've been treating dementia patients by recreating their past and putting it into a VR set. And so they could kind of regain memories from that.
That's really smart. There are 2 companies in our building that are working with Unity VR for medical applications. And I know another company in BC. There seems to be a lot of companies in BC working with VR medical.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Medical. Do you have background in biology? Did you study biology?
Oh no, past couple of years I was just taking open studies and trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and I thought this would be kind of a good start.
Sorry guys, I knocked over a cup of coffee and it ruined everything. All right, who else? Elia.
My name is Elia. I'm from Lebanon originally. I'm a graduated interior designer and an architect. I've been working in 3D for the past almost 10 years.
Who's your favorite architect?
That's a good question. It's Rem Koolhaas.
From
Germany, I guess.
Germany.
Yeah, Rem Koolhaas, one of the best.
All good architects are from Germany.
True. In addition, I've been working in 3D for like 10 years. I'm self-taught. I taught myself 3D basically. Mostly ArcViz. I've been working in Unreal for like since 2014 or 15, I forgot. I've done many environments, done works for some films, and I also been teaching 3D since 2015 back home. That's basically it. What I aspire to do later on, to work in production, possibly in film production, because now Unreal is really good in real-time motion tracking and real-time green screen clipping, etc. This is really interesting for me. Yeah.
We have at VFS we have a couple of instructors that are working on Netflix shows using Unreal Engine. I think when the time comes, you should definitely talk to them.
Definitely.
Shri.
Hi, my name is Shri. I'm from India. I'm currently in India.
What time is it right there?
1:30 a.m.
Oh my God! You're my #1 student then.
I have done my mechanical engineering, done my graduate in mechanical engineering. I have a 1 year experience in SolidWorks. Due to that, I have fallen in love in animation, and my main focus in the industrial and training, because I have seen there are few problem in in industry right now. The first is the assembly of the machine from in a different location, which required a particular type of engineer for it. And the second is the training of medium to lower class in laborers or engineers, you can call it, so they can assembly the machine quickly and without any problem.
Nice. In training is a huge application.
Training and assembly.
A company that we are working with is going into contract with the government of Canada for building training program for pilots. The contract is 22 years and it's $12 billion. It's a huge industry, training in VR. Military is the biggest client. So you should be okay. My background is in biology. I studied biology and I was about to become a doctor. To be honest, the only reason I did it was because my mom asked me to. I was good at it, but I didn't like it. So I switched to graphic design, and from graphic design to animation, and from animation to virtual reality. So I have a huge chunk of biology stuck in my head, pretty useless, but I can understand science. And that's what I really like about Unreal Engine. It's a combination of art and science. You can build so many things with it. Entertainment, industrial application, training, you name it. For next week, let me know if you guys have problem delivering your assignment. If you need help, I'm always online. And then I will update the Moodle over the weekend with your schedules, the topics for next week's, the future assignments, and any other details. If nothing else is left,
quick
Shrey
question.
needs to head to bed. Yeah,
Quick question. You want the Unreal file sent, or you just want to see it here?
I
in the class?
will message you guys about delivering your assignment. Yeah. Thank you guys. It was a very interesting first session. Usually first session for me is really awkward, to be honest with you. I don't know how to, it's not easy for me to get to know you guys and then be teaching you guys at the same time. But for next week, I'm pretty sure it's going to be easier for both of us. Right? All right, guys. See you next week.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thanks.